Welcome to the Role Model Rebels job series. In this webinar, we want to delve into current workplace trends and opportunities with a focus, of course, on women. Our guest today is an outstanding expert in legal design, legal innovation, transformation, and artificial intelligence. Her excellent LinkedIn posts on the topic prompt engineering have raised a considerable amount of attention in the legal community. So a very warm welcome to Liz Chase. Hello.
Hey Anita, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm really excited to be speaking with you, another powerhouse in the legal industry. So it's really exciting to be connecting transnationally from Australia.
Yes, thank you. Hello from Geneva. So it's great that we are crossing continents with this Role Model
Absolutely.
Rebels job series. Very good.
Yeah.
Liz, you described yourself as connector and entrepreneur. Could you please go into this? Could you please introduce yourself, your expertise,
Yeah.
especially in legal design, digital transformation, and artificial intelligence?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have been in law for a little bit less than 20 years. And prior to law, I did a stint in the tech industry where I worked in user experience research. I was very lucky that when I went to Silicon Valley during sort of my gap year in between high school and university. And it was at a very exciting time. It was pretty much like the time that we're in now, except for instead of being the advent of generative AI, it was the advent of the internet. And so I was very fortunate. I was working for a Silicon Valley startup. Um, and then I came home to Australia and did my law degree with that experience and that perspective. And so being in law has always been a little bit, I guess, I've always been that person sort of questioning why are we doing it this way when there are better ways, having learnt from what innovators were doing in other industries. So throughout my career, while I've always combined traditional practice, so even as a very junior lawyer, I was already sort of transforming and digitizing and optimizing processes in order to make them more modern and more efficient. And then throughout my career, both as like a law firm owner, a partner, and even a junior lawyer, I've always been at that sort of intersection of people, process, and tech. And then when I had my own firm, I really got into this concept of being a human-centered firm. It started just with thinking about how I would like to be treated if I was a client, how I wanted to be spoken to, if I was a client, and also from the employee experience perspective. And now I work in legal education, and I also consult to firms and in-house teams. And AI, and in particular generative AI, has been probably the most exciting thing that I have seen throughout my entire career. And I'm so excited because I just really see it for its potential to transform the way we work and our ability to deliver a better client and also a better lawyer experience as well.
Oh, excellent. Wow. So you're really a pioneer in this field. So from my experience, especially in the legal field, many have a problem to see this intersection of law and technology. So you already said it or you already gave us some indications how you see how technology and law can shape the future of legal careers, especially for women. Could you again highlight this intersection for us?
Oh, absolutely. So the intersection of law and technology, it is creating a new landscape for legal careers. It's opening up opportunities for roles that didn't exist anymore. And particularly when we consider sort of legal tech and design. So I would like to think that what we're now able to do with tech is to leverage tech to do the busy work and relieve us of our busy work so that we can think more creatively about how to solve problems, how we might serve clients at scale. So instead of that traditional one-to-one lawyer-client model, we might be able to design products or software that enables us to serve clients on a one-to-many basis, or to further operationalize and become more effective and efficient at what we're doing, to perhaps bridge justice gaps, or to sort of address complexities and do it better.
Oh, excellent. So very often lawyers are afraid that their traditional roles are endangered. But as I hear, there will be a lot of new opportunities that enhance actually the traditional job. So as a legal expert, what new digital job roles do you see emerging in the legal industry? And especially in relation to this very exciting topic and field of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I think the shift is enormously exciting. So we will no longer be defined by tasks and timesheets, and instead we'll be entering into a realm of creative problem solving, high-level critical thinking, maybe perhaps even coming up with better arguments, stepping into that field of proactive and user-centered lawyering, so that we're really helping our clients not only resolve disputes, but perhaps prevent disputes, have really productive commercial relationships, and manage risks, in more, I guess, interesting and preventative ways. There's also a range of new roles emerging, such as legal technologists who will be implementing tech solution in legal practice, legal analysts who leverage AI to analyze data, and legal designers who use design thinking to improve legal services. All these roles will sort of require the ability to identify use cases for tech, the ability to think carefully about the opportunities of things like predictive analytics, or the ability of a tool to generate, a lot of documents, or to do due diligence in a faster, better way, or to do research in a better way. So it's going to really be about the people that can take things and say, well, now that's how we've always done it. Now, how can we do it better? How can we do it differently, so that we are delivering a better service to our clients, and that the working environment is also more satisfying and fulfilling?
Oh, excellent. So to summarize it, really, these new roles will help actually transform the legal practice. Do I understand this correctly?
That is my vision, and that is my hope. Yes.
So what skills or knowledge are essential now for professionals to thrive in these areas?
Yeah, so I think that whilst we don't need to know how to code, or we don't need to all rush off and learn Python or CSS, I think understanding perhaps the way the technology works, and you would have some thoughts about this too, Anita, I'm sure, but understanding the way the technology works, understanding its limitations, understanding the pitfalls, and understanding the logic behind it is essential in order to be able to identify opportunities to utilize it, and also how to utilize it responsibly and ethically is a key skill. Also, I think the legal design will be a huge skill. And when I say legal design, what I really mean is incorporating the mindset of a designer to make sure that the legal experience is usable and useful for a client, and for all the humans that are in the system, and really putting a human-centered lens on what we're doing. And by doing that, you will easily identify things, areas for improvement, and use cases for technology, not only to leverage efficiency, but to surprise and delight everybody that we engage with for a better experience of the law. Oftentimes, people come into the law, and particularly in litigation, or if they are not, and I'm talking about consumers, or if they're not perhaps dealing with it on a day-to-day basis, it's probably one of the most significant and also potentially traumatic things that they might be going through in their lives, if in the case of a dispute or a family breakdown. And so how do we really improve the experience for those people, and leverage tech to make their journey through that system easier to understand, more navigable, and a better experience? How do we help them through that?
Excellent. So it's actually a lot about soft skills that you are
Soft
talking about.
skills, I think soft skills is the perspective and the lens, and
Mhm.
then also problem solving.
Excellent. Yeah. So you have published these great presentations about prompt engineering. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
think a
yeah.
training in prompt engineering can support in acquiring those skills?
Yes and no. So I think that prompt engineering is evolving, and it's rapidly evolving. I feel like I spent a lot of time learning how to get the best output from generative AI platforms like ChatGPT. And I definitely think that has been time well spent. And I definitely think that my capacity for getting quality output is perhaps better than the average person. So I would invest time in learning how to get good outcomes and outputs from these types of technologies and these models. And also for two reasons. One, so that you actually can use them to leverage and become more efficient. And two, so that you understand how they work so that you can generate use cases. That said, the models are improving, and possibly in the future, just knowing how to craft a basic prompt using natural language won't actually really be much of an edge, because ChatGPT itself can help you craft a really quality prompt. So it's becoming less and less of a skill. Sometimes when I'm working with ChatGPT, it's become so good now that I don't even finish my sentence or type in full sentences, and the output that I get is still of a really remarkable quality. I think that the key is actually knowing the outcome. So understanding what it is that you want as the outcome, so that you have a benchmark. I think that that's a key skill, and also understanding the limitations, appropriate use as well, because there are some things where like an open source large language model like ChatGPT is really not good at. For example, we know that it has problems with reliability currently as an open source platform that has not been trained for the legal industry. Having said that, there are many similar tools that have been. But I think, and there's a lot of ethical considerations, but understanding all of these things are vital, I believe, to thriving.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, for us, it's also very important to help women build the skills and find the right education. So, for women interested in entering the field of generative AI and legal design, what educational
Yes.
pathways or resources do you recommend to acquire these necessary skills and knowledge that you have described now?
If I had a t-shirt, I would say I learned everything important and that I need to know from YouTube. There is so much amazing content out there. And if you're curious, you can dive in and explore, and like look outside, the legal context. And then you can also connect on LinkedIn and engage with content creators like myself. MIT, Dazza Greenwood has amazing resources. There's another, I think, platform, I think it's called Deep Learning AI or Deep Mind AI, I forget. But there's a lot of education that's out there that's accessible. And I would also suggest connecting with groups like Role Model Rebels and seeing what content we produce, because I'm sure that in time to come there'll be plenty that we're sharing that's specifically targeted for women who are at the intersection of legal and tech.
Yeah, so would you say that there are already some training programs, but not like some that are covering all the skills that you mentioned? So you still have to pick the pieces together for yourself.
Yeah, the skill is actually in curating
Mhm.
and figuring out what you want to learn. And sometimes you might find that you're learning something that doesn't go anywhere, which if you're a curious person like me and you are just learning because you enjoy learning, that's fine. But if you're trying to get to an output or develop a particular skill set quickly, that might not suit you. So I think there is still an opportunity to find something that's curated specifically for your use case. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe we need to provide this with a role model.
I think that's right. I agree. Yeah, I
Very
agree.
good. Yeah, we see it. It's very hard to navigate the challenges and then to achieve really success with new skills. So, from your perspective, Liz, what challenges might women face while pursuing careers in legal technology and design? And how can they overcome these obstacles?
I think that it's actually a new frontier for women. I think that it's an exciting time. We, by nature, are problem solvers. We're resilient. We're capable, and I think that now this is a time, where traditional hierarchies might be dismantled. Technology is a great equalizer. It values skills and innovation. So by embracing tech roles, women can carve out their niche and lead in areas, and I think we already are, like legal tech and design in many respects. We do, I agree, face challenges like lack of representation, particularly when it comes to obtaining funding. Many studies have been done in that respect. So, for example, if we had a legal tech startup, it might be more difficult for us to obtain funding. And there are, of course, issues like unconscious bias that we need to address. Um, and to overcome these, I think the key is to build a strong network, seek mentorship, continuously upskill and advocate for oneself and also for others. So building that community of women that lift up other women, as that saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats.
This is beautiful and is very much in the spirit of the role model rebels. Thank you, Liz. Um, an important part of role models rebels is also to celebrate women, to show their success stories. Do you have some women in mind where you could share a success story, especially in the digital legal space?
Oh
And
yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I would consider you like to be like an excellent example of a woman who's leading, particularly when it comes to the metaverse and AI and that intersection with regards to law. There's also Nicola Shaver, who's like a wonderful community leader when it comes to building the community in relation to legal tech with the Global Legal Tech Hub. In Australia, we have Jodie Baker, who has developed a very inspiring legal tech solution called Zakia, which is a matter management system for in-house council. I'm actually part of a Women of Australian Legal Tech Association. So there's so many women. It would be very difficult for me to name all of them. And I'm even thinking outside of legal how the CTO, and I forget her name, of OpenAI is herself a woman, and she's done some like incredible things. So we do have people to look up to.
excellent, thank you. And of course, you are a role model and a success story yourself.
And
Well,
and I think that the generation to come are going to do so much to make us proud as well.
that's how it should be. And I hope we can
Yeah,
support them and pave the way for them in the best way
yeah.
possible. And talking about paving the way, every journey it has to start somewhere. So, as our closing remarks, what advice would you like to offer to women to start their journey in?
Okay. My advice is to be curious, be open to learning, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Experiment, dive in, and just see where your journey takes you. Reach out for support. So please connect with me on LinkedIn, message me, or via Role Model Rebels. And then um, look, I think, when it comes to innovation, I think that all great innovation are born out of a sense of frustration. If you are in the legal space and you find something that's frustrating you, that is your key. That is your problem to solve. And I think that that's a really good place to start as well.
So maybe then in the legal sphere we could be really pioneers because there is a lot of frustration.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is such an opportunity for a better future. I call it Lawtopia. And I think that together we can build it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your highly interesting insights, Liz. I'm very much looking forward to collaborating with you in our fabulous female network, the Role Model Rebels. And I hope that you will share some more insights with us in maybe a few courses and masterclasses.
I cannot wait. I'm so thrilled to be part of this incredible community, and so excited to be connecting with you all.
Thank you so much.